Alright, hello everyone. I am Abel, known as Melon Abel on YouTube. And you clicked on this video either because you like my content for whatever reason you do, or you clicked on this video to see my opinion about Forsaken. And when talking about Forsaken, I'm pretty biased considering I play this game for around the year now, and I still am pretty bad at it. But I do have 10 days on the game, which means I do have some sort of experience when playing the game, and I have every single character. And I have played every single survivor and killer, so I know everything about the game, but that's not what this is about. This video is about the pros and cons of Forsaken. And there's a lot of pros and obviously a lot of cons to this game, considering it's probably one of the most drama-filled games on Roblox, yet it's possibly one of the best games on Roblox, if you prefer to say that. Now, if you live under a rock, Forsaken is essentially just another asymmetrical horror game on Roblox, possibly one of being the first, besides Pillar Chase, Bear, and a lot of other similar games to asymmetrical horror games, even though it doesn't exactly lean on it, like Piggy. It's not exactly like an asymmetrical horror game, but it still leans on the genre. And an asymmetrical horror game is essentially a game where there's a killer and there's multiple people playing as survivors. One person is the killer and multiple are survivors. And you have to use objectives or just hide or run around as survivors to survive from the killer for the whole round. So now, let's talk about the pros of Forsaken. Forsaken is one of the many of Roblox games on Roblox, and it stands out considering how unique it is compared to the rest. And there's a lot of replayability with Forsaken. And one of those reasons for that is because there might be a skin that you might want for a character, and it's a reference that you might really like from maybe a show or any part of fiction, or maybe something that you just really like, and you want that skin, so you want to get player points to buy that skin, which causes you to play the game. And no, I'm not no D1 Glazer. I'm just saying, a lot of people play the game because either they really like a good skin, or they just genuinely like the gameplay, and they want to play the game because they like playing the actual game. It's not like it's some other repetitive tower defense game where you're just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. Each round is different because you're playing against different people and playing with different people each time you play the exact same game. And that's pretty much it for all the, pros. And I know that might sound really negative at first, but there's not that much to say when you're talking about the pros for Forsaken. They just play the game because they either enjoy it, or it's just because they wanted to try out the game and maybe they just find it genuinely good, or they play it because they just want to play it. It's definitely a game that maybe you would play if you're very bored, or if you just genuinely wanted to do something while you wait for something. Maybe you're in the middle of a task and you're taking a break for a second. Play Forsaken. Just because you like the game and you like how it functions. And oh, we go. Oh my god. Here we go. Let's talk about the cons. The cons of Forsaken is surprisingly and sadly pretty huge. And there's a lot to say about it. So let's divide this into three categories. One, drama. Secondly, Forsaken community. And lastly, balancing. Let's start with mostly the easy part of this, balancing. Now, this might seem like a very stupid topic to talk about in Forsaken, but it's definitely something very noticeable. Let's go back to the Nosferatu update. Nosferatu released and cost 3,500 Sakars. It wasn't even the real player shop. It was in the Masquerade event shop, which I know it sounds pretty crazy, but then it gets even worse. If you had this character, you were pretty broken. And a lot of people would say this for new killers, but no, Nosferatu was something else. Sure, Gessa 66 seemed powerful and pretty much unstoppable, and he seemed like a beast. But now look at him. He's the most loopable killer in the whole game. And Nosferatu is still good to this day, even though he's in the player shop now. And when he first released, he seemed entirely broken. He was destroying every single lobby you were in. You couldn't counter Nosferatu because you didn't even know how to counter Nosferatu yet. He was an unstoppable beast. No one could ever stop Nosferatu, and that's the problem with balancing for Forsaken. No survivor could single-handedly, unless it's a good team, genuinely defeat Nosferatu with relative ease. It was just super difficult to win against him. And this made it extremely difficult for new players. And you might say, well, there was new player servers. Well, not at the time there wasn't. There was no new player servers at the time, which means any person with Nosferatu could just walk up to a new player and absolutely destroy them. And you can even say this for any other killer. This can make the experience for new players even worse than it may already be. And now, any player that plays for like 3 hours straight maybe can get Nosferatu and pretty much destroy the whole lobby. It ruins the entire experience for any new player in any new player server. And not only that, Veronica came out the month before, and she was absolutely broken. She could knock back the killer super far if they're on a ledge. Not only this, but Veronica had quote-unquote text, which would literally make her glitch on the map, which is technically bug abusing. You get it. If Veronica is on the correct map, they can pretty much be unstoppable to any killer, especially slashers. And even at the time, Veronica was able to get on top of stuff slashers couldn't, which makes them completely invincible to them. It just straight up makes the game very unbalanced and makes any single new character very unbalanced. It makes the game horrible for anyone who wants to play the game. And I know that's just when Veronica released and half of those bugs are fixed now, but it's still very annoying to any slasher mains that want to play the game for fun. Now onto the community. Oh my god. Yeah, I could show more, but you get the picture, and you probably already knew this. Forsaken community is possibly one of the most interesting communities, to say the least. In fact, there's probably 3 separate categories for this whole community, which is kind of strange to say, but it really is. There's the very, very questionable ones who make certain art with certain characters, and then there's others who are genuinely trying to be funny. And there's also just some randoms in between that kind of have slop content, but they're still trying to be comedic. And again, there's a lot of comedic content in the Forsaken community. Here's one of them.
Plastic bag. They're cookies! They're cookies! Look! Cookies! Look!
But now this doesn't mean that the Forsaken community is all sunshine and rainbows. There's still a lot of bad people. The ex-owner of this game was a bad person himself. Even recently, the JX1-DX1 Noli skin was removed from the entire game because the Forsaken community did the exact thing the creator of JX1-DX1 told them exactly to not do. Some of the Forsaken community genuinely ruins the game. It makes it very concerning, and there's a lot of people that shouldn't be a part of the Forsaken community in the first place. Or at least they don't deserve to be. They're even using their own art skills for worse things. They're making NSFW content of minors in-game. Keep in mind, there's characters like Shiletsky being drawn as fat human garbage. Keep in mind, this is a real human person in real life. And the list really goes on with the Forsaken community. And some people are just very, very disappointed in the Forsaken community. There's a lot of videos from multiple creators, like probably Pickett, who says the Forsaken community is very strange. There's even YouTubers leaving Forsaken because of the community. Like Sarazik, he moved on to Die of Death. And Die of Death themselves plans to remove the Noli full skin for Artful in their own game because they don't want to collab with Forsaken anymore. And the same thing has happened with a lot of other skins in the game, like Champion 1X. And again, I'm not saying the whole community is hell at all. There's still a lot of good content that is being produced by other people in the Forsaken community, and I love that there's still actual good in the Forsaken community. But there's a lot of bad people in the Forsaken community too, and it's very concerning how there's a lot more bad people, it seems, than good people in the community. And I'm not suggesting that the whole Forsaken community is horrible, like I just said. I didn't mean that. I don't mean that. And I still think there's a lot of good people in the community, but it scares me how much people would use their own skills for the worst in a community that's telling them not to do these things. Now we move on to the drama, which possibly is worse, if not pretty bad. And again, like I said earlier, Soul Driven Love, which now is done from Forsaken, even though he still gets money, but that's legal reasons. Is no longer in the game because of the bad stuff he did and all the drama, and now Haitoko and stuff. And then a lot of these things that I said earlier connects to the drama, like the balancing that started drama. Everything, even the Forsaken community started drama. Everything that I just listed a few minutes ago, all leads to the drama, and it sucks to see how such a good game could be ruined because someone or something or anyone can't control themselves from anything. It's really sad to see how Forsaken went down in popularity or just went down in players considering their community or any drama they might have. And the drama could be about anything. One person even accidentally leaked the Dignity Nova skin and was taken off the team. And there's a lot of drama in Forsaken, like too much drama. And it again concerns me about how much drama is in the community. And it really lowers down the player count and makes Forsaken not as fun as it used to. Like, when I first played Forsaken, I had a good time. You could even look back at my first ever Forsaken video back in May. I had a great time playing Forsaken, even though I might seem pretty mad, but that's just how I work. I'm pretty bad when it comes to rage quitting, because I do it a lot. But, you could tell that I was genuinely having fun in Forsaken. Now, it's just repetitive, and I sit here, just standing here, playing the game, and now it doesn't seem as fun anymore, knowing the Forsaken community itself, and knowing all the balance changes and everything that's changed with Forsaken. It's not as fun as it used to be. And this is all because of the drama, people. It's the Forsaken community, the drama, and the balancing, like I just said in these past few minutes. Again, it really is sad to see such a game go down just because of its players or just because of its developers. The game is still good. The game was meant to be a passion game, by the way. It wasn't even meant to be this big. But now, Fame has completely ruined it. And it made it possibly one of the worst fan bases in all of Roblox. And that might sound pretty extreme, but, I just showed you a few clips a few minutes ago of the Forsaken community. And again, I just said, it's not like there's not any good people in the Forsaken community. Of course, there is definitely a lot of good people in the Forsaken community. But most of it is bad. And that all connects to the dramas that happens. I told you, JX1DX1 got removed because of the Forsaken community and it became drama. It was horrible. It's horrible to see such a game go down this easily because someone or something can't get their hands off of anything. But yeah, that's pretty much my most opinions on this. I just wanted to get this off my chest, Forsaken is still a good game, in gameplay wise, obviously. But now it's just not the same anymore. And, the drama and everything, changed it all. So I hope you really liked this video. And just tell me if I should do more videos like this, because I wanted to express how I think the Forsaken should move forward, and the community itself should just move on and go to a new chapter. Now, again, they're still good in the Forsaken community. There was even a charity stream that got like $20,000. And it's good to see how every single asymmetrical war game set aside their differences and did all of that, So, that's really it. That's all I had to say. Yeah. Melanie was signing off. This gameplay in the background you've been seeing the past 14 minutes is all from my friend. I hope he doesn't mind if I use his gameplay. This was just a background so I can use it. And I credit all the videos I shown in this video at the end. So read that if you want.